This is my brutally honest review of The Sims 4 Toddler Stuff. This is a part of a series where I review every single pack for The Sims 4, including all of the older ones. According to EA, Toddler Stuff lets you dress in adorable apparel, jump into fun. Toddlers can burn energy while having fun on the collection of playground objects and host playdates. So Toddler Stuff only contains Create a Sim stuff for toddlers, and rightfully so, although funnily enough there isn't actually that much of it. Considering this is a whole pack about toddlers, I was a little bit surprised, and unfortunately toddlers are not immune to the male and female imbalance problem in The Sims 4, especially considering male toddlers only get one hair, and there's literally so much more that they could have done with things like hair. For context, male Sims get 11 assets and females get 23, so slightly more than double. I'm not going to offer critique on the style of the stuff itself because it's literally just stuff for toddlers and there is some cute stuff in there. They're not really supposed to be fashionable, but I was disappointed with not only the imbalance in options, but also the lack of stuff, I guess, just considering it's supposed to be a whole premium pack just for toddlers. And we haven't really got any toddler stuff in any other packs or in the base game, so this is the one pack for it. And I just felt like it fell short and was a little bit mediocre. I feel like cast for toddler stuff is acceptable, but not great. It's getting a 5 out of 10. What's the build theme of this pack? I have no idea. It comes with some playground equipment, including a ball pit, a tunnel thing, and both a ball pit and a tunnel thing combined together, and a slide. The biggest issues I have with build mode here is the lack of stuff, especially considering how many duplicate objects there are. For example, as I said, the joint tunnels and ball pit is literally just 2 objects combined, so it's not a brand new object. There's also a fence pole with lights, but then you've got the matching pole which is separated, so it's effectively a duplicate. We also have 4 logs which are basically the exact same thing, and they've got like pandas painted on them. So really there's a lot less objects than you think, just because a lot of it is duplicates or parts of the same set that look extremely similar. If you're a build mode player, you definitely won't miss this pack at all. I feel like it's easier to talk about what this pack doesn't have and what it should have. For example, new stuff for a toddler's bedroom, like a toddler bed or a changing table or a new potty or flooring or wallpaper or a giant new teddy bear. Like there's so many different things that they could have done but they didn't do. And the stuff that is there, it's okay, like it's nice, I guess, but it's definitely not stuff I think you'll find that you'll use that much, really. It just doesn't have that much purpose. Build mode was pretty shite for me. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. So let's look at the brand new playground equipment. There's a toddler slide that they can walk up and climb back down again, or they can just slide down it normally and you can get a parent to help. And this raises their movement skill, although just to confirm, child sims can't use it. It's only for toddlers. There's also a ball pit that they can jump in and play in, and may I say the animation for this is literally horrendous. It looks so weird. They spend half the time suffocating underneath this weird mesh. Not much really happens with this object other than toddlers gaining the movement skill. And then we have the huge tunnel system object, and I thought this was going to be really intricate and cool, but of course not. This is The Sims 4, the game that's being held together by secondhand post-it notes. With this tunnel thing, your Sims will walk into a black void, pop out at either the top or the sides out of another black void, and then they will leave the object with a +1 happy moodlet. So that's that for you. There's also a very large dollhouse shaped like a tree house. I honestly don't understand what this is, because toddlers, like when you go to play with it, toddlers will stand next to it and they will pick up a random toy from thin air and they will hold the toy next to the tree house. They won't play with it. They will literally just hold the toy, but they don't actually play with the treehouse thing itself. So the object basically does absolutely nothing. I don't understand why include this huge treehouse shaped dollhouse thing if toddlers will just stand next to it in animation like holding a random toy that's unrelated to the treehouse. In addition to all of the extremely overwhelmingly exciting brand new objects, there is also a new event called a toddler playdate. This is where you can meet with other toddlers in the world and play together. Funnily enough, toddlers don't actually exist in The Sims 4. When I say they don't exist, there's none. For For context to new players, toddlers did not exist in the Sims 4 base game originally. They came as a future update, kind of like infants, and when they released toddlers, they didn't really update any of the worlds or the townies or the households to integrate toddlers in them. Instead, the feature was basically abandoned literally on launch, which was very strange. As a result, you can't actually hold a toddler playdate because other toddlers literally don't exist in the game. Imagine releasing a pack with toddler playdates in a game where toddlers literally don't exist. And even if they do exist, there's no real way of actually meeting up with other toddlers in the first place to invite to the event. For example, kindergarten doesn't exist, so Sims like toddlers can't meet classmates there. Also, in order for the event to work, the parent must know the other toddler, not the toddler themselves, if you know what I mean. So the only way to get this event to work is to either create households or download households off the gallery with toddlers, visit the house, interact with the toddler one time so they show up in the social panel, and you have to do this for every single one that you put into the world in order to make it work, which is just so dumb. Anyway, I couldn't be bothered to do that, so I literally just downloaded one off the gallery and I befriended one to go to this event with me. The toddler playdate event itself is a disaster. The event missions are very weird, like eating together and socializing with guests as if like what toddler socializes with guests? What toddler do you know who socializes with guests? Do you know what I mean? It's so dumb. Or there was a mission to use the slide alone, but then the next mission was to get a parent to help me use the slide after they already did it alone. There's a mission to listen to the stereo at the same time, but toddlers don't really interact in a group like adult Sims do, so that's not really possible. The whole event doesn't make any sense, and it was just not thought through at all. The whole thing was just so dumb. It was over very quickly, and you know, it takes ages for toddlers to do things, so how can the game expect you to do all these events in such a limited time? And where are the parents? Are these parents just leaving their toddlers with me unsupervised even though they don't know me? This whole pack is just an absolute state. When EA released toddlers, instead of providing any gameplay for them in the base game, they locked it all behind this pack, but then the gameplay that is there is very shallow, so in all there's absolutely no toddler gameplay. Toddler Stuff feels like a cash grabby attempt to make toddlers pay to win, but really you pay to lose because the quality of the pack is very low. I may be a bitch, but I'm a constructive bitch. There should have been a base game update to include toddlers in the world in either Oasis Springs or Willow Creek, introduce a new family or update an existing family or two, so there's actually Sims for your toddlers to go on a play date with. And the second thing is to actually have kindergarten for toddlers so they go off into a rabbit hole in the day like they would do in real life. Thirdly, a toddler and parent hangout spot as a lot trait would have been great to include more toddlers from all around the Sims universe into a specific lot that's designed for toddlers. It also would have been nice to have a sand pit, which I feel like it's been a staple in like most Sims games, I feel, so I don't know why they don't have it in this pack for toddlers to use. And in general, like there's so many cool toddler toys that they could have included, not just a treehouse which literally does absolutely nothing, or a ball pit where they suffocate underneath this like weird mesh. Like they could have included a lot more stuff. It also would have been incredible to have a jungle gym lot type, you know, like those indoor soft play areas like with the big nets. Something like that would have been amazing for this pack to put in, you know, a whole community lot dedicated for toddlers and kids. Like that would have been so cool. We could have had like play groups and nursery rhymes, or what about a babysitting career like we had in The Sims 3 Generations? That was actually a fun career. There's so much stuff that they could have done that I haven't mentioned already. I feel like as feedback, they should have just actually added depth to the stuff that was in there, because it was so like there was literally nothing. So you either need to give us quality or quantity or both. Obviously we're not getting both because we're not getting quantity or quality. This is The Sims 4, we get neither. But in a perfect world where, you know, they actually cared about making the game good, we would have got more stuff, as I mentioned, and the stuff that was there would have had more intricate gameplay. Although Toddler Stuff is horrendous, I do give EA credit for giving us the bare minimum. As such, I'm giving the gameplay of this pack the bare minimum score. It gets a 1 out of 10. So the overall score for The Sims 4 Toddler Stuff is a 2.7 out of 10. If you enjoyed this stuff pack review, you might also enjoy the next few recommended here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was useful. I'll see you in the next one.